Ooh. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It's the Late Boy Scout, and today we are testing out a brand new sharpening system. This is the Work Sharp knife and tool sharpener. Picked this up off of Amazon.com for something like 70, 80 bucks. I think it was 80 bucks with extra belts. And I'll go through the belts. I'll talk about the belts here real quick while I'm on that subject. It came with, you basically got a set of 3 belts here. So what's on here right now, the green one is the most coarse one. Then this red one is the medium grit one. And then this purple is the fine one. Alright, so this is for knives and tools, as it says on the device there. Which means that I could sharpen my pocket knife with it. Today it's the Boker AK-47. 47? 74. AK-74. I could sharpen that with it. I could sharpen a hatchet with it, such as the, what I got here? Here's the SOG, I think this is the Fast Hawk. Could do some sharpening with this if I choose to. Any other hatchet or axe that I've got, lawnmower blades, whatever you have, really, you can grind away at and sharpen with this little tool. And what we're going to be working on today is this right here. This is a machete I got for Christmas, actually. And haven't done any work with it, obviously, because it comes super dull. This is the Cold Steel Gurkha Kukri. I think it's just the Cold Steel Kukri machete. And it's dull. It comes very dull from the factory. I mean, I can run my fingers up and down there with no risk of getting cut. Sure, if I slam that into something, I'll make some dents and eventually chop through stuff, but I really want a nice, sharp edge on that. Sharpest I can get. Why shouldn't I have that? So we're going to try to put that type of edge on this tonight as I test out this Work Sharp knife and tool sharpener. There are 2 different sort of attachments that come with it. This one right here is made for kitchen type knives, and it's a guide basically that allows you to have a 40-degree angle on it, 20 and 20. So that's what I would use for kitchen knives and probably pocket knives as well. It recommends that you use, the instruction manual recommends that you use this guide right here for pocket knives, but that only gives you 25 and 25. I like to have it a little bit steeper than that if I can, but I am going to start using this by using this one for the machete. And I also am going to start with the highest grit that they've got, the really coarse one. You've got a little switch here on the bottom, right there. In the center is off. If I switch it up, it stays on if you switch it up. It stays on if you switch it up, if you couldn't hear that. And then when you switch it down to the 2 there, if you can see that, and that's like a momentary on, and that's what you would use for the type of sharpening I'm doing. To switch it on and have it stay on, that's what you would use for grinding. But I'm just doing sharpening, so again, so I want to have that sort of, the momentary on feature is what I'm going to be using tonight. Now, one of the things I like about this, or one of the things that I potentially like about this, is that it is a belt sharpener. Okay, what that means is I'm going to be able to get a nice convex edge on that blade. Okay, that's something you don't get from a rod-based sharpener like the Spyderco Sharp Maker. I don't have that here right now, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. You can't get a convex edge from it without working very, very hard and being very creative in your technique. What I understand I need to do is kind of put this on top of it like that, and there's, the belt kind of will sink in a little bit, and then that guide right there, what I want to do is have the blade sort of rest out this way against this guide right here, okay, resting out, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. We'll see how it works. Ooh. All right, so first pass, and we've already got some nice wear on there. At least some nice grinding done. Let's do some more. It's kind of hard to do with this kukri-shaped blade. It's just a little tricky with that huge recurve. Nice. That's what it's got going on so far. Let's try from the other direction. Again, that blade shape is kind of tricky to work with, but I think I'm getting it. A little red knob right here allows you to track the belt, I think, side to side a little bit if you have to. All right, it's making a difference. Looking a lot better. I don't know how it's going to feel, but it's looking a lot better. I am kind of destroying my tip though. It's rounding off. Once again, this is an inexpensive blade, so I'm not too concerned about it. And also it's not really designed for thrusting, but whatever. Maybe I can get that back. Maybe I can. We'll see. Might as well try to get it back while I'm learning. How's that tip looking? It's still somewhat rounded, but it's returning. I think we're doing pretty good with that belt, with that level of grit so far. I might move on to the next one. Now to do that, it's a pretty simple process. And this is one of the things I think they've done a really good job of. What you do is, you see that spring there, right here. That's what's sort of keeping this pressed up. So all you do is press down on it and rotate it, like so. See that? Press down on it, rotate it, and it locks like that. And then you just simply remove the belt. All right, we just took off the green, so let's put the red on now. Again, this is the medium grit. And I don't know what kind of an edge one of these cold steel machetes will take. This is my first cold steel machete. I've heard some good things about them. I've seen some good success with them. Friends like Gavco did some videos with Gavco did a video with one of his cold steel machetes that really impressed me. That's pretty much what sold me on buying one of these. So let's go ahead and see what we can do now with that red one. See how much finer it gets. I can definitely see the convex grinding in that edge. Definitely can see that. Probably stop there and move on to the next belt. All right, we've got that purple one on here. That's the super fine. Let's see what kind of an edge we end up with on this machete. Now, if this sharpener has done its job, we should have a pretty nice sharp machete here. So let's do a little paper cut test. Maybe not so much. No, wait a second. That was pretty good. Ooh, that was actually really good. That's not too bad. Okay. That's a cut. That's not a tear. right, let's try this. Little quick ones. Oh man, did you see that? Okay, I think I'm convinced. Yeah, for a cold steel machete to take that kind of an edge, I'm pretty satisfied. Now, is that going to be shaving sharp? I don't know. I'm not going to try that out right now, but you saw the paper cut test. Anyway, I think I've made my point. Cold steel Gurkha Kukri machete is actually pretty sharp now. As far as a first initial evaluation, I'm going to say if you want to get yourself a slightly more advanced knife and tool sharpening system than, say, a SharpMaker or another sort of rod-based sharpening system, you can do a lot worse than this for, what was it? What did I say? About 80 bucks plus all the extras in all for an electric sharpener. Put a convex edge on a machete that'll cut paper like that. Thumbs up. I'm Blade Boy Scout. Thanks all for watching this initial tryout and review of the Work Sharp knife and tool sharpener. We'll see you guys later.